Is the book dead? Let's look at this in some depth. Writing emerged before the 4th millennium BC. Human beings first made cave paintings and then developed tiny pictures that would evolve into signs. Ancient writings such as Egyptian hieroglyphs, Sumerian cuneiforms, and Cretan Minos writings emerged from these sign pictures. The influence of painting can be seen in these writings. The symbolization of sound A, B, C, D is the next stage of evolution. The symbolization of sound is the basic logic behind the alphabet we use today. The symbolization of each sound with a sign created the alphabet system. For power, being able to record is necessary for its continued existence. Power records. It records trade, it records life, and it's precisely through this recording that it gains power. For this reason, all kinds of developments related to writing and books took place in classes close to power. The fact that religious texts were the first to be recorded indicates the intertwining and ideological unity of power with religion at that time. No prophet wrote a book. They presented their teachings and philosophies to the people around them. However, the government transcribed what the prophets told them. The invention of writing by classes close to power systems from the necessity for every power to have recording tools. After the creation of writing, it is necessary to mention the invention of paper, another fundamental tool. The first basis for books in today's sense was undoubtedly wood, the first meaning of the Greek word biblos and the Latin word liber for book was bark, and this is the origin of the Chinese word for book, which still means book today. Cloth was also the basis for the first paper. Papyrus, which grew on the banks of the Nile River, especially in China, was another paper material. In Anatolia, the skins of various animals were other sources of paper. The form of the book was different from what we know in ancient times. The traditional form of the early book, the papyrus scroll, was called volumen in Latin. This scroll format, while portable, was not conducive to quick reference or comparison of text. Between the 2nd and 4th century AD, this was gradually replaced by the codex, which was nested and broken to form successive spreads. The codex, a precursor to the modern book, allowed for easier navigation and quicker access to specific information, thereby enhancing the reading experience. The formation of the book as we understand it today coincides with this date, 2nd, 4th centuries AD. Since then, the book has always maintained this form. As with everything else, the book development into its known form and functionality was a process of evolution. The development of the printing press, first found in China and Europe in the 1450s, the possibilities brought about by technological developments, such as typography, rotary, etc. The introduction of the book to the market as a commodity and, of course, the spread of education all over the world in order to develop the qualities of a worker all contributed to the book's functionality. It was in the 20th century that the book spread to all social classes. Before this century, it had been the means of communication for the ruling classes since its birth. The French Revolution opened book-related professions to the working class. In the late 19th century, this means of communication, which had belonged to a caste in the days of manuscript books, began to spread to all social classes, primarily in Europe. However, later the development of communication tools, especially television and then the internet, strengthened the system's manipulation of how individuals spend their leisure time. The book, which was on its way to becoming a tool that has left its purpose and closed its era, has changed how it is used today due to the spread of visual culture. Even if it was never entirely popularized, the book is being taken back from the people today. Originally a tool belonging to the ruling classes, the book is being reclaimed by them. The dominance of visual culture over the general paradigm and the individual's inability to think deeply due to life practices turn it into an antique. The book is not a tool that can reach the speed of postmodern times. In a society dominated by speed, consuming the book is boring for many. The perception of time in the book conflicts with the perception of time in postmodern culture. The book has never been able to spread to all segments, all classes of society. Due to the rapid cycle of the economy and the speed of consumption in the post-Fordist system, culture is changing and moving away from reading. This speed of consumption has made detailed knowledge unnecessary, and information from visual communication tool is increasingly sufficient for people's life practices. The education system's regulations prepare the individual for this new way of life. The real blow comes with artificial intelligence. Previous technical developments reflected human limbs. The car was invented instead of running, binoculars instead of seeing, and the telephone was invented to talk over distance. But artificial intelligence is an imitation of the human brain. This will be final blow to reading books. So what will happen as a result? There is no need to prolong it. The book will die. Maybe I'm wrong. Life has become so fast and complicated that social scientists need help to see 3 steps ahead. But we know this. Every medium is born, lives, and dies. How many people communicate by smoking today?